Hello there, you're welcome to Piku Tech, and this is the Tech Discussion Show. My name is Kasapa, your favorite host. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, and if you're already part of the family, hey boo, we love you. Today, we will be discussing a very interesting platform, or should I say, a tech field that you need to explore. So, grab a seat. We'll be right back. So, as you can see, I have a pretty and handsome guest in the house today. So, let's get to know them.
So my name is Hassana to Ahmed and I'm a software developer.
My name is Bright Etanamsuno and I'm a Flutter GD.
So, you heard Flutter, right? That is what we'll be discussing today. Flutter. All you need to know about Flutter. What you need to know to get started. What you need to know or to do to improve even as you are in there. So, what is Flutter?
Flutter is a UI toolkit that has the ability to basically run on any pixel, and it was developed at Google, but it's open source, right? And the first release version was in 2017. And currently it supports multiple platforms. That's Android, iOS, web, macOS, Linux, desktop, and we're also looking at other two platforms, like support for two platforms, like officially, which is Rix5 and also WebAssembly. Yeah.
Nice. You've mentioned a lot of things about Flutter, which I believe other platforms also have similar things. So why should I choose Flutter over the others?
Because it's faster and then it's cross-platform, so you need just a single code base to run applications on different platforms.
Does that not work for other platforms?
Yes, but then comparing Flutter to, let's say, Iconic and React Native, Flutter compiles the application using the device hardware, which means it makes the application faster as compared to React Native that has to do JavaScript styles before.
Oh, okay. So that's for the mobile aspect or like generally?
General.
Yeah. So generally, Flutter is, it's fast because it runs at 60 FPS, like by default, and things that run at 50 FPS are usually games. And if you play any games, you see how smooth your gaming experience is, right? And that's what you are actually giving, right? Like as a mobile app. So that has to do with the speed, right? And also even with the speed of development, right? Because unlike a platform like native Android, right? You have an XML that you have to drag and drop the UI before you write your logic code and you link the two together. Right? You do this too before your app works. But for Flutter, it's declarative, which means that there's no XML that it has to pass, right? Your code is basically your UI. Your code is your logic. So, which means that you can basically finish your application like within the shortest possible time, because you are not creating a UI before going to write your logic. Like as you are writing your code, you're writing your UI and your logic at the same time.
You can't say that there are no negative aspects when it comes to Flutter. So just be blunt with us. Right? Are there any challenges using Flutter?
Alright, so one thing about Flutter, and even I would say it's a challenge that is being fixed, right? So for iOS, there's a check before the iOS app opens for the first time, right? So there's this concept in Flutter called shaders, right? And on iOS, pre your app opening, there's no shaders, right? Like, and before it opens, and there's a jack, like it's like it's trying to get all those things ready before it opens, right? And even with that, although they've provided a way around it, it's not a permanent fix. So the way around is just pre-caching the shaders, right? Then you get a smooth. But the permanent fix is the rewriting of the Flutter engine, right? So we are moving from something we call Skia. So Skia is more like a gaming engine that's constantly using Flutter. So we are moving from Skia to another engine called the Impeller. So Impeller is being rewritten by the Flutter team from scratch. So they are considering all these drawbacks in the Skia engine and they are fixing them in the Impeller engine. So currently Impeller is in preview, so you can check it out on iOS, right? It will soon be available like as a stable version for all mobile applications like that you develop. And I think that jack issue will go away.
It says it will go away, so let's wait for it. Are there any best practices that anyone needs to know starting Flutter? Yeah, something like the architecture. If you want to follow, let's say, MVVP model, yeah, so that you have separation of consent, you have your widgets in one folder, your providers, your service, different folders, so that you don't miss business with BY and that.
If I don't do that, what happens?
You can do it, but then you're not following the best practice. So let's say you have a bag and you're trying to trace it. It will be difficult since you've mixed up things.
I see. Any more to add?
Yeah, I mean, the architecture, as she mentioned, I mean, it's very core in Flutter. So I'll say there's one thing that, so now the Flutter team, they don't want to impose anything on you, right? They don't want to impose their coding methods on you, their architecture on you. They want you to do what you are okay with, right? Because of that, most people, especially beginners, right, who are just coming into software engineering and they don't have any concept of architecturing itself, they make mistakes, right? So because of that, they basically write like bad code with no architecture in code, and it makes their code not able to scale, right? And I mean, you following the best practice eliminates this, because if you leave the company one day and someone is coming to own your code, right, the person should be able to read the code easily. But if again you don't follow any best practice or you need architecture right, I mean, the person will keep on cursing you because you've made the person go through something that you don't want to. Yeah, and I've personally gone through that before. Yeah.
What does the future of Flutter look like?
For me personally, I doubt Flutter will go away anytime soon, because I mean, apart from the fact that big companies are investing heavily in Flutter, right, and using Flutter as their user-facing apps. I mean, the Flutter team themselves, they are dedicating so much time to making it work, right? And I mean, they're looking at expanding to more platforms, right? As I said, they are working on the X5 and WebAssembly, and I'm sure there's going to be more platforms in support. Who knows, one day we'll start developing applications for smartwatches, TVs, and co. Like, just like that, right? And I mean, all this thing is something that will happen in the future, right? So, I mean, Flutter is here to stay. Like, it's not going anywhere.
Flutter is here to stay. Your last words.
Yeah, the future looks exciting. The way it has a strong community, it looks good.
So, mine is our advice. I mean, anyone starting Flutter to just take their time, right? Because I believe once you understand the core concepts, like everything will just be laid out for you. That's one thing, because I mean, the core concept is like the very important stuff. And another one is, I mean, the Flutter community is one of the most friendly communities out there. I mean, you can ask any developer and they will tell you. I mean, imagine you even tweeting at Speed, right? The program manager for Flutter, the boss at the top, and he replying you. I mean, that's how free the community is, right? So it's very welcoming. There's no discrimination. just do your stuff, share your knowledge, and learn.
Do your stuff, share your knowledge, and learn. Your social media handles, please.
On Twitter, I am Etonam. On GitHub, the same thing. I am Etonam. On LinkedIn, by Etonam.
So on LinkedIn, Hasanat Ahmed, GitHub Hasana.
Thank you very much for joining us today, and our audience, thank you for staying tuned as well. This has been the Tech Discussion Show, and I am Kasapa, your favorite host. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, and if you're already part of the family, hey boo, thank you for staying tuned. We'll see you next time. It's bye.